Next, we're in Kenya to meet Zachariah Muta, who for the last 6 years has been looking after an extremely important elderly rhino. Sudan is the only male northern white rhino left on Earth. With a maximum lifespan of 50 years, at 42, he's the equivalent of an 80-year-old man.
I feel very close to Sudan. He's my closest friend. We don't want him to get extinct. So I really take very great care of him.
All the world's 5 species of rhinos are under threat from poachers, but none more so than the northern white. They are completely extinct in the wild. There are now only 3 left in captivity: Sudan and 2 females. These last survivors are highly protected at the Old Pejeta Conservancy in Kenya. On the black market, rhino horn is now more valuable than diamonds, so the trio are under 24-hour armed guard.
This is Sudan.
Conservationist Giles Clark has come to meet Zachariah in Sudan.
He's the last of his kind. Must feel like an awful lot of responsibility taking care of Sudan.
We really love him very much, so we really take care of him just like elderly people.
Wild male rhinos can be aggressive, but Sudan is used to his human protectors and is approachable when Zachariah is nearby.
He knows you very well.
Yeah, rhinos, they have got very good sense of smell and hearing, so they can recognize a keeper and a newcomer.
Okay.
Yeah,
So he knows the difference between us.
Yes.
He's not quite sure of me yet, but you're definitely a friend.
Yes. That's what makes me feel happy to be so close to Sudan.
The phrase "last chance to see" is often overused, but in this case, it could be true. Sudan spent most of his life in a Czech Republic zoo. He was part of a captive breeding program including the 2 females, Najin and Fatu. After 9 years of failed breeding attempts, in an ambitious last-ditch effort, they were airlifted to Africa and returned to their natural habitat in the hope they would reproduce. Richard Vine is CEO of the Conservancy.
All of them, their condition improved sort of almost overnight. So their toenails got better and stopped cracking, and their skin condition looked better. So it was obviously something that suited them about coming back to Africa.
Sudan, the only one of the trio to have been born in the wild, had a new lease of life among the other rhinos in the reserve.
He established a territory, he fought with other males in the area when he first came here. He's acted as a territorial male and he's mated, but he's never successfully got females pregnant.
Over the next 6 years, hopes that Sudan could help save his kind began to fade. As he got older, the young females began to bully him. So Sudan was moved into a retirement paddock on his own, where he now depends on Zachariah and his team for everything.
He's going blind in one eye. He's struggling to walk. So his relationship with people like Zach and other keepers is fundamentally important for his welfare. He's old. He relies upon them for his food and for company. It's enormously important.
Despite his ailments, Sudan is not in pain and has all the food, comfort, love and support an old man needs in his final years.
I better die first before Sudan. Yeah, because I don't want to lose him. I'll feel so sad. I'll feel so sad.
It's completely obvious just what a close bond Zach and Sudan have. Sudan's welfare and his psychological needs are being met by this special friendship. Tragically, at 42, Sudan's breeding days are now over. As things stand, he will be the last male northern white rhino to walk on Earth.
It's so amazing but so sad because he's too old enough, but we still had hope that he can still exist. He looks very healthy, he's in good condition, so he might live after 50.
However long Sudan has left, it's obvious that this gentle giant could not be more loved.
He's a good boy. Wow. Look at the size of that mouth. It's amazing to be this close. Such a handsome boy. I've got no idea just how significant you are.
However, there is a glimmer of hope. These rhinos are the focus of pioneering scientific endeavor, which has been used successfully with a giant panda. Existing frozen northern white rhino sperm could still be used to save the species. But the clock is ticking. Rhinos have existed for 40 million years, but it's only in the last 100 years that we have been responsible for their tragic demise. "2,000 miles away, in a secret location in South Africa, there is some encouraging news about our relationship with the southern white rhino. This is Ike. He was left for dead after poachers attacked him and removed his horn. Vet Gerard Steenkamp was first on the scene.
It's quite obvious that he was a fighter. He wanted to live. And just like in humans, I think that makes a huge difference. If you have a patient that is willing to fight.
Since then, Gerard and his team of vets have struck up a remarkable relationship with Ike. The biggest challenge was making sure Ike's wound did not get infected and healed as soon as possible. So they needed a really heavy-duty dressing that would stay on the end of a rhino's face. 8 days ago, Gerard sedated Ike and attached a state-of-the-art fiberglass dressing to his wound. Biologist Patrick Aye has joined Ranger Steve Dell to try and get a close look at the patient. He's a wild animal, so they have to be careful. As they enter the enclosure, Ike is on the far side. Any fears that Steve had that Ike was not on the mend quickly disappear as Ike's 2.5-ton bulk stirs from his slumbers.
We are going to have to go out.
Steve is concerned about their safety, and they make a rapid exit to the other side of the fence. Ike certainly seems to have recovered well.
It's okay, you coming to say hello, my boy? There's a good boy. Easy, my boy.
Look how magnificent he is. He's huge.
He's coming, he's coming.
They get a good look at Gerard's handiwork.
That's it. I can see it's fraying a little bit, but it's still on, which is a good sign. The longer it stays on, the better, I'm sure, in terms of the healing process. He is going to be a survivor, for sure.
The dedication of Gerard and his team has paid off. But tragically, Ike is unlikely to be their last patient. The rhino poaching crisis has reached a tipping point. Now, for the first time, more rhinos are being killed than are being born. These are 3 of the most recent casualties: PJ, Lizzie, and Monty. They're all orphans, but thanks to Amy Coy, they still have a chance.
It's heartbreaking, and it makes me angry that we can't protect the animals, that we cannot stop a young rhino from losing its mother. It's terrible. It makes you angry and it makes you sad at the same time. I get very emotional.
Amy's plan is to raise them at her farm until they are old enough to go to a reserve where they will get the protection they need. In the meantime, they seem pretty happy with their lot.
PJ, Monty, come. Come. Come, you want milk? Come. Come, let's go get milk. Come. Boys, come.
Baby rhinos use this high-pitched squeak to communicate with their mum. And they don't hesitate to let their human mum know when they are peckish. The babies here drink 15 litres of milk twice a day. Patrick's feeding 4-month-old Lizzie.
And do I have to squeeze it as she's suckling?
No, she'll suck.
She'll suck it
all
up.
by herself, yeah.
Wow. You are a hungry girl, aren't you? It's remarkable to think that this whole poaching crisis comes down to this right here. The rhino horn is made out of keratin, the same material that horses' hooves are made out of, and even our fingernails. So really, it is worthless.
There is no doubt that we are responsible for the plight of this majestic animal. Thanks to Zachariah, Herat and Amy, there are at least some rhinos that are safe for now. If we can save this iconic species, then there may be hope for the many other endangered animals with which we share the planet.